Want to know her story?
The violence in this specific neighborhood and in my home definitely impacted me, and I think it had a major impact into me going into the gang life.
What kept her going?
I just wanted more.
She'll tell you things weren't that easy.
From there, things just got out of control.
So how did she stay strong?
And the things that are not going right in my life, I will pray about those things. I will do what I have control over. I will lift the rest of it up.
We are here to tell you the stories of dynamic women making a difference in our world. Because you can't tell history without telling her story. Hello everyone, I'm Candace Dunkley with Her Story. Now you may be wondering, why are we taping today's show in a boxing ring? Well, that's because we're talking to a local actress who's fighting her way to the big screen. Caly Givens is preparing for her screen debut in her original film, Fighting the Odds. So now, it's only fitting to introduce you to the woman behind the script and the gloves. With every jab, with every hit, Caly Givens gets one punch closer to achieving her goal.
I had to create some opportunities for myself, so I said, what type of role would I likely be cast in? Just wondering.
It's a question the aspiring actress says she answered only after receiving just a couple acting jobs in LA. Caly returned home to the south side of Syracuse, where she's known as Caly. Here she created a role to better suit her talents.
If I had the opportunity to choose the role that I thought was ideal for me, it will be the role playing Layla Ali.
She's preparing for her screen debut in a leading role in her upcoming film, Fighting the Odds. Caly will play a young woman battling an abusive relationship who discovers her independence through boxing.
When my mother went to prison,
Caly has been fighting the odds from a young age. She witnessed police taking her mom out of her grandmother's house for drug possession when she was 5 years old. Her father also spent about 11 years in prison for dealing drugs. Her pain, combined with a culture of violence in her neighborhood, pushed her to fight.
I was fighting with something in my life as well, and I believe part of that was just my parents being gone, you know? Whatever I was experiencing here, sometimes I didn't feel like it was home.
And that's a big void in a young person's life. And she was a young lady, so there was a lot of anger there, a lot of hate, and a lot of pain.
After 5.5 years in prison, Caly's mom returned home, but the fighting continued. At age 12, Caly and her friends started a gang, calling themselves 911 Quickness.
They still require us to go through the process.
But fast forward 15 years, and today Caly works at On Point for College, an access program that helps low-income youth prepare for college. It's the same program Caly says helped her escape gang life and eventually graduate from Howard University with a minor in acting.
They challenged me.
Many agree it's Caly's strength and determination that's helped her to be a success.
She wasn't one that would march to the beat of others. She had her own mind and her own ideas about how things should be done.
Which is why this first-generation college graduate continues to win the admiration of those around her.
I told her, oh wow, I think one day you will be like Angelina Jolie. Yeah.
Caly may not be an A-lister yet, but many feel the film will have a winning impact on the community.
That could be me, they would say. I could do that if she did it.
And for Caly, she's determined to keep fighting her way to the big screen.
I consider myself a Darwinist. I say you put me anywhere on this earth and I think I can survive.
Hi everyone, we are back with Caly and she's going to tell us a little bit about her film, Fighting the Odds. Caly, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to hear you and I'm so excited to hear about your film, Fighting the Odds. So can you tell us what is Fighting the Odds?
Yes, Fighting the Odds is a story of an abused young woman who is forced to utilize her inner and her outer strength in order to survive and retaliate. But what are the odds of her survival? So I like to say a little girl's dream is to be that rose that grows from concrete. Mm-hmm. But what if the sun never shines and the rain continues to fall? Then what are the odds of her survival?
Now, in her survival, tell us a little bit about the character, because in speaking to you before, you said that she's a woman that tried to find herself through men, but eventually became a boxer. What's this story about?
Naima is a young woman who grows up in the urban city. She has these really two great friends. They're very close friends. And throughout their friendship, they all experience different things, of course. She looks up to them. She somewhat wants to walk in their shoes. Their lifestyles are a lot better than hers. And Naima plots with these two girls to marry an athlete, and they all succeed. And all their stories are very different, but we focus on Naima. So what happens is she ends up in an abusive situation. So now she has to find that inner strength in her. And I mean, it's a great, great story because you never know why she turns to the boxing ring. But if you watch the film, you'll know why the boxing ring. So that it's a reason why she chose the boxing ring. And it's also a reason why she, is able to overcome everything that she has overcome. It's in her, and we don't know why. And we will know why when we watch the film.
Now, what made you actually want to write a film about a boxer, a female boxer for that matter?
Well, I've always said if I had the opportunity to choose a role, an ideal role for me, it would be to play Layla Ali. So I know in the acting industry, we're often typecast. And
Meaning what? What's typecast?
Typecast meaning you have a certain palette or feature character, you have certain characteristics, and based on those characteristics, those are the roles you're likely to get cast for. And I think that I'm likely to get cast as a boxer in a film. And so I wanted to display that, I wanted to show that. I just wanted to show the entertainment industry what I had to offer. And I thought the boxing story would be a great way to do that.
Now, in preparing to be a boxer, you've been doing some training. And you've actually been training here. That's why we're here in this gym.
Correct.
So what is it, tell me, what's the training process like for you?
Oh my, it's very, very intense. I actually strained a muscle during the process. I was training for about 5-6 months straight, Monday through Friday. Probably from about 5:30 to about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, with two professional trainers who actually used to be boxers themselves. And I mean, it was just nonstop. It was very, very intense, very tiring. It's addictive though. So once you start doing it, you feel like you want to continue to come back because it's like, it's addictive. You're very addicted to it, and it's like, I have to go back the next day, I have to go back the next day. So I think that's why I kept at it for 5-6 months straight until I did the fundraiser. So that's when it sort of took a pause for me, when I did the fundraiser.
So what was your fundraiser?
The fundraiser. I held a fundraiser at Newhouse School of Communications here in Syracuse, New York, with a friend of mine who actually I hope to be the assistant director for the film. His name is Raekwon Pride. He graduated from, as I just said, Newhouse Television, Radio, and Film. And we held a fundraiser there, and Dr. Rick Wright, Syracuse professor, hosted the event. And we invited a lot of family, friends, and people we felt believed in us and believed in the story, and they came out that night, and we just showed a small documentary that he put together for the film, and just some of the other projects that I've been involved in while I was in Los Angeles. We were hoping to get money, and we did pretty well.
So you met your goal?
I met part of my goal. My goal is $18,000 to shoot the independent film, and that's with in-kind services. So with the help of J. Michael's Shoes, John Vivallo from J. Michael's, a woman named Teresa Giles. She owns her own daycare center. Tiara Peterson, Shirley Rouser, Afika's Beauty Salon. These are some of my sponsors. So they all have contributed something to the film, which brought my budget down tremendously. So it brought it down to $18,000. We fundraised $7,000 that night. So I'm looking to fundraise the remainder, which is $12,000.
Great. Now, Caly, in preparing for this film, you weren't always here. You were in LA, and then you decided to come back to Syracuse. Just tell me a little bit. Why'd you leave LA to come here?
Well, this is my home, and I believe that we have a lot of missed talent in Syracuse. And I say missed talent because it's really tough growing up in the urban city community, and there aren't many artistic programs available here anymore. So a lot of us, we don't know what's available for us, and we're a little afraid to step outside of our comfort zone. And I knew that I can come home and I could shoot this film and it would be a success here. And then I know that the people who really care and believe in me, a lot of them are here. You know,
like the people that are coaching you.
Exactly, like the people who are coaching me here, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Ed. I mean, they devoted their time to me. They really did. Provided me with boxing gloves, you know, my own boxing gloves, my first pair of boxing gloves. So, and then, I mean, the support. I mean, Newhouse, we had a phenomenal turnout. You know, one night I did $7,000. Wow. So, yeah.
Now, Caly, I know that this hasn't been easy for you creating the film and also just getting to this point of being an actress. So when we come back, we are going to just talk to you about your own personal struggles and how you overcame them.
Okay.
Hello everyone, we're back with Caly and she's going to tell us what it took for her to get to where she is now. So Caly, you're talking to us about, you know, all the work you've been putting into this film, but you didn't always want to be an actress. As a matter of fact, in the video that we showed earlier, you were talking about your parents going away to prison and the effect that that had on you. Can you tell us just a little bit about that, what that was like for you?
Well, I think for any child who has to experience their parents being away for a very long time, it's devastating, you know. At a point in my life, I kind of felt as if I really didn't know my parents very well. You know, I visit them often while they were in prison because I had a very strong support system. You know, my grandparents made sure that I was always visiting my dad and visiting my mom, but not having them near, you know, the majority of the time was it was hard for me. I believe that's part of the reason why I chose a different path that I chose at one point in my life. You know, a lot of fighting and kicked out of school a lot. I believe not having my parents was part of the reason I engaged in those specific activities.
You were almost lashing out.
Yeah, absolutely, lashing out. I don't know, maybe it was looking for attention. You know, I was young, I was very young. It could have been a lot of things, but it was very hard for me, very tough. But I would have to say everything that I have experienced have made me a very, very strong person. And that's why I know that I can go at this specific film that I'm trying to target and be successful. And even the film industry in general. You know, my past experiences have created a very, very determined, hard-working, ambitious person. So in a way, I don't think I would change any of that at all.
Now, when you were younger, you were also eventually you started to get into gangs. Mm-hmm. How did you get involved in gangs?
Well, actually not gangs, plural. It was just one gang, right? It was a family. It was in Syracuse. A lot of the gangs are more family oriented. They're cousins and brothers and uncles, and you know that's the type of gangs. Those are the type of gangs that exist here in Syracuse. I've never heard of one where you have to get jumped into the gang or you're doing, sexual activities to get involved in a gang. I don't know of any. I mean, I don't know if if they exist now, but growing up, no, it was more of a turf type thing. I'm from this location. I grew up on this side of the town. It was a gang that we actually created. 6, 7 friends of mine. 2, 3 of them were family members, and the other ones were just close friends. And I think we were just trying to. I really don't know. We just said this is what we wanted to do, and we were already fighting a lot. And the other girls, they were a group within themselves, and I guess we were just trying to do the same thing. So I mean, it's pretty interesting how it started, but it's not like the ideal gang. When you hear a gang, you think of, oh, they're jumping each other to get in the gang, and they have to have sex with other. I've heard of that before, and I'm like, that exists? So no, it wasn't that type of gang. It was more family oriented. I think it was our way trying to prove that, we too aren't afraid. We can fight too. I really don't know. I don't know why we did that at that age.
And in fighting, you're lucky to be here because you got involved in very dangerous altercations.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been I've been stabbed in the back twice, close to having my lungs punctured, bust upside my head with a bottle. Had to have stitches on the outside and the inside. So yeah, I've experienced a lot.
So when you're going through those things, did you see yourself here? Did you see yourself as an actress?
When I was going through those things at that time, be honest with you, I don't know where I seen myself at the time. I'm a first-generation college student, so college wasn't talked about in my home, besides watching the Bill Cosby Show. That was my inspiration. That was part of my inspiration. Of course, my grandmother always said, you're going to go to school. Of course, I went to school, but college wasn't brought up in my home. So that was something that a program called On Point for College stepped in, and they made sure it happened for me, a phenomenal program. So actually, no, I didn't see myself at this point. Sometimes I wonder how am I, sometimes I ask myself, how did I get here? I really do. But I mean, I was once considered, quote, the leader of a gang, and then I graduated from high school, senior class president. So I like to say I've always had leadership qualities. I was just over time I was able to utilize them in a different manner.
And On Point, they have given you so much support. You actually graduated from Howard University, which is a very prestigious school. So congrats to you. That's what that high five was about. Because you seriously, that's an honor. And
Thank you.
Yeah, but with going through that, I mean, once you got through college, I mean, it's not like college was a walk in the park for you either.
Absolutely not. It was very, very hard for me. As I said, being a first-generation college student, I had my parents. My dad came home when I was 16. My mother came home when I was 11. So, they were in my life, and they were together. But they aren't college graduates. So they really don't understand what it's like to be in college and the things that you need, and just having someone there to visit you. They don't understand that, and at first I didn't understand why they didn't understand. But as I got a little older and a little wiser, I realized that you can't fault a person for what they don't know, and they just didn't know. But it was very tough for me at Howard. I can remember, driving 35 minutes to Howard, which was a commute from Silver Spring, Maryland, working 40 hours plus just to go to Howard University. That was my dream school. So, I mean, I was working really hard to be successful at that school.
That's not a joke.
Right. And then, I mean, my last year at Howard, I contacted, the semester before my last year, I contacted On Point, and I said, listen, I don't know what to do. This is very hard. I can't do it. I was scared, and they were there throughout the whole time. And I remember one of my counselors saying to me, Sam Rouser, he said, listen, apply to scholarships. And, I believe it was per every 10 you're likely to get one. So I just started applying, and I was just applying, and I was just applying, and I ended up, my last year at Howard University, I had 4 scholarships. I think it was 3 to 4 scholarships, if I'm not mistaken. A Lester B. Mitely, Thurgood Marshall,
And your grades reflected it.
oh yeah, I had a 3.8 GPA. So the semester before my last, I had a 3.6, and then that final semester I had a 3.8. And I was a C- student coming out of high school, so.
Well, that's just remarkable, Caly, and it really is amazing that you were able to do so much and get so far. So when we come back, we want to hear more about your film and your next steps and just how your film is going to help other people like you in the community. Hello everyone, we're back with Caly, and she's going to tell us about her film and how it'll help the community. Now, Caly, you talked so much about everything you've went through growing up. What is the film going to do for people watching it who have maybe gone through a lot of struggles and hardships, especially here in the South Side where you're from?
Right. Well, for one, being able to see that an individual who grew up in the urban city of Syracuse experienced a whole lot and was able to overcome those obstacles, I believe is a great view for the community in general. I believe it gives hope to other individuals who have experienced what I experienced or come from where I come from, for them to see that it is possible. Also, for those who are interested in the arts here in Syracuse, it's an independent film being filmed here. So it's
get involved.
Absolutely. You know, it's I'm looking for internship opportunities. You know, students who just want to learn what it's like to be on a movie set. Actors and actresses. There's music. You know, the music component of it. So I'm looking for artists who write music, who write beats, who develop beats, I'm sorry. So, I mean, it's a great opportunity for a lot of different individuals, you know, directors, producers, actors, actresses, songwriters, singers.
People who want experience also.
Right.
Now, what stage exactly are you guys in right now in preparing for this?
Right now, it's just a fundraising stage. Once I receive the $12,000 that I'm looking for, I can go ahead and start pre-production. And that's casting, you know, looking for the individuals I need to help me make the film successful. I have a potential director for the film. He's a UCLA grad student, and he attended Fordham University for theater, and actually is now, he's studying film. He wants to be a director. So I would love to use him because he has both aspects of the industry. So that's where I am now, and I'm just trying to fundraise the funds that I'm looking for, and then I can start shooting the film,
Okay, and how can people get in contact with you if they want to donate money?
If they want to donate money, there's I have a production company website. It's Erased. That's ERACED Productions.com. So it's erasedproductions.com, or you can contact me, erasedproductions@gmail.com as well. I have Facebook, I'm on Twitter.
Now, I was actually going to ask you about Erased Productions, but you beat me to it, so let's get started. This film that you're producing, Fighting the Odds, will be the first film of your company that you're also creating, Erased Productions. What is Erased Productions?
Wow, Erased Productions is a production company, and its focus is to display films that show environmental, cultural, artistic, and scholastic issues or views. The title is very, very interesting. It's Erased, as I said, that's ERACED, and I came up with this term through 2 terms, which is eraser and the term race. Okay. So what I'm saying is, if the term race was erased, what would the world be like? I don't believe in race. I believe in just people and humans. And I just want to be able to display that in films. I believe that we are artists and we are individuals before we are black or white, or, you know, that's what I believe. And I wanted the production company to mean a lot to me, and I wanted it to have substance behind it. And I believe that we've been experienced a lot of racial issues for a very long time, and it's not just a black thing, you know. And that's what I'm trying to put out there.
So in Erased, will you discuss racial issues, or will you kind of take a step back?
Well, I'm partly discussing racial issues in it, yes. There's a scene in the film when I talk about, you know, the use of the word "in," you know, the use of the word "nigga." So yeah, it's touching it a little bit, and that wasn't intentional. That was just me writing the script. So yeah, I have two African American women, and then it's one Caucasian female, and they're all really good friends. So you're seeing what each of those individuals experience, you know. So yeah, I definitely talk about it. Now that you said that, I didn't realize that, but yeah.
With the film, when people are watching this, if you could give kids watching this, or even adults watching it, advice right now is how they can also fight the odds, what do you want to tell them?
I would have to say, follow your gut instinct. If you truly and genuinely believe in something, go for what you believe in. As a first-generation college student, a lot of people told me, why Howard? And I said, why not? And I've always been the type, irregardless of what my financial circumstances were, I've always been the type to go for what I believed in. And you have to be disciplined. I think discipline is a major factor in being successful or following your dreams. You have to be disciplined, determined, and ambitious, you know, and have to be willing to sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? I was willing to sacrifice a lot when I left Syracuse.
And I'm sure your sacrifices will go noticed, very noticed. So thank you so much, Caly, for joining us. And I'm just inspired, and I just can't wait to see what your future brings. So if you missed any part of this show, you can catch us at www.sassclass.com. And remember, you can't tell history without telling her story. So continue to watch, and I'll see you next time.